Hi everyone. Hello there. It's Gill Fountain here from 38 Partnership. I am 38 Partnership, owner of a marketing and branding agency. We work with people to increase the visibility of their businesses, their products and their services. I'm also the founder of Building Tomorrow Today Facebook group, and that's where business owners can come along, tell us what they do. We all support each other and talk about the different things that we do, and that can help each other. Now, I was talking today to Audrey. It's one of my friends that we were talking to, and it's quite funny how things turn themselves around. We were having a discussion about speaking events. We were talking about speaking events and how to increase our visibility. I don't think we actually used those words, but it was basically, we were talking about how to put ourselves in front, place ourselves in front of an audience, be in the center of attention, the focus in a meeting, as opposed to being just part of a meeting. Hi there, thank you for joining me. What we were saying was, when you go to a networking meeting and you're a speaker or you're speaking at an event, you are actually the focus of attention. People listen to you. You are seen as an authoritative figure. It gives you the credibility because you are talking about a subject that you know very well. We started talking then. It moved on to different phrases that we use, different words that we use. Now, this was quite an eye-opener to me, but it brought back memories as well. And the reason I'm saying that is because a couple of years ago, I was working with a coach he's very good. He's very good. And I started off in a membership group, paying my monthly small fee. And I started off in a group of about 40 people. I met them monthly, and I did feel a little bit out of water. Hi Lee, thank you for joining me. I did feel out of my depths to start off with. And it was because he used different terminology, different terms than I did. And it made me stop and think, because every now and then he would say something and then I would stop and I would try and analyse what he said. It could be a word, it could be a sentence, a phrase. But whilst I was trying to think what that phrase or that word meant, what happened was I lost the thread of the next 30, 50 seconds. And when I came to and realised I'd lost that bit of that conversation, I then struggled to keep up with the meeting. And if it happened again, a few minutes later, 10 minutes later, again, I lost that bit of the meeting. And we were discussing this today. And I was saying I've just written a chapter. I've been asked to be a guest author in a book. And I've written a chapter about websites. And one of the questions was, what is a domain name? And I went to start off, explaining what a domain name, what URL was. And I suddenly thought, the expectation is that everybody knows the sort of terms that we use, the terminology that we use. And of course, we don't. Not everybody knows each other's trade. I can be talking to, I've got Lee on here, for instance. Hello, Lee. She would be talking about her business with drones and with videoing. And some of the terminology that she would use, I may not understand. And if we had a conversation together and she was explaining something to me, I would be using words that she wouldn't necessarily know, and she would be using terminology that I wouldn't necessarily know. And unless we actually stop and talk to our clients, talk to the people that are listening to us and ask them, did we understand that? Or slow down enough so that they understood what we were talking about, go back and explain it again. The information goes over our head. Now, I know for sure the first time I listen to something, I do not understand. If it's a completely new subject, I do not understand what is being said, to the point, if it's too high level, I will come away thinking, I don't know. I feel at a disadvantage. I don't feel that I can ever understand it. And I'll go back in again, and the second time I listen to it, I think, oh, hang on a minute, I do understand what that means. By the time I've got to the third or fourth or fifth time, I can probably get away with talking about that particular subject. And I think this is where we will run away with videos sometimes, where we get so excited or so in depth with the subject that we are talking about, we assume that everybody else knows the terminology, the phrases that we use. And we have to be very careful not to put potential clients off because we've spoken at too high a level. Now, I know this works for me. I know it works with my clients because I get often the feedback is, I like the way that you explain things to me. I like the way you'll go back in. Now, I do several different webinars. For instance, I do the 5 steps to develop an A+ LinkedIn profile. I had to think about it then. 5 steps to develop an A+ LinkedIn profile. And I start off by going into an introduction. I'll then do slides, but then I stop, question and answer time. But then I go into the live account so that people can see as I move my mouse around, where everything is. And we'll go into, if they want to, we'll go into their own personal accounts. Again, I can look at things in their accounts, sharing it on the screen if they want us to. And I can say, no, you go in here and look here, go in here, click here. And this is what I do a lot with most of the things I do, in actual fact. Not only do I talk about everything, but I physically show people how they can adapt their own profiles, adapt their own social media, so that they get an increase of visibility, so more people can see them. When I do my webinars for visibility, for instance, again, we'll go through the different levels, building blocks as we go through the different levels. But every single time I am showing them, talking to them first, and then showing them how to do it themselves. And that does save time and money. It does mean that they get a better handle on that particular subject. But also, if somebody comes along and tells them something that doesn't sort of ring true, they have got enough knowledge to be able to question what they are being told. And this has worked out a few times now, I must admit, with different clients. That I had one client that went through all the levels with me on visibility, and he kept saying, I had to laugh because he kept saying, slow down a minute, Jill, because I'm doing this at the same time as what you're talking. So as I was talking, I could see his head was down like this, and he was on, so he was down listening to me, and he was watching and then looking at the screen, and then I could see him on his laptop. And basically what he was doing was he was altering, as I was discussing it and showing it to him on screen, he was then already in his own profile, in his own account, adapting to the different areas that I was talking to him about. And he joined me level after level. So in the end, he'd had 15, so we'd had 15 sessions together. And he started to laugh and he said, you won't believe what you have given me here. And he was in a very competitive market. And he said, I have followed your steps. And he said, here I am. I can see myself on the front page of Google. Underneath all the adverts, I am top. Underneath the paid for adverts, I am organically at the top. over and above all my competitors. I have never even reached page 1 before, let alone been up near, you know, in the first top 3. And it's enormously satisfying when you can see the progress that your clients are making, but also the fact that they absolutely understand what you're talking about, because that actually makes it a lot easier for me, because as we're talking, as they're learning, we start having conversations and it's quicker, because I don't have to keep going back and saying, right, do you remember I said this, or this is, and we show again, because then we get to a different level and our conversations roll. They understand what I'm talking about. They know where the mouse goes to be able to find that next bit into that different area, another layer of whatever software that we're working on. And it does save them time, it does save them money, but it's really satisfying because they've achieved so much. You can see the confidence that's happening as we go through week after week. So I'm going to share my screen with you now. Am I going to share my screen with you? Yes, I am. Because I'll bring that across to my other screen. Yes, I'm going to share my screen with you just to talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing on the 14th. On the 14th of June, I am running my course, Visibility, Make You Stand Out. It's a 5-day challenge. That's 1 hour a day. It's level 1. We do talk about LinkedIn. We are talking about your profile and other areas of LinkedIn, how to start increasing engagement and your connections. We are talking about Google My Business. That is an amazing tool. It is a free tool for you to use and claim in your business, why you should claim Google Your Business, what benefits there are in doing it, and how you can extend that reach out, not only to hundreds of people seeing your business a month, but thousands of people seeing your business a month, and being able to push them through to the different areas of your website. We talk about social proofing, social worth, how to increase the amount of times people can see you online when they search for your name, your company, or the type of business that you run and your town. It's an invaluable time to spend with me. We also, during that time together, we do a health check on your website where I bring in an expert and they run a test on your website, and we're able to talk you through how you can increase the visibility of your website as well. And it's a really great time we have. It's all recorded so that you can have a look at those recordings later and make sure that you can stop and start and learn as you go again if you want to run it like that as well. So that's me. Like I say, I'm Gill Fountain, 38 Partnership. We are brand and marketing. And if you do want to come along on the 14th, I will put the exact link below. Let me copy and paste that into the video below here as well. And I will stop the share there and come back to you and say goodbye for this week. Next week, I'm going to try and talk about, when I say try, I mean I've had a go at doing this for the last couple of weeks, but each time I get I actually get taken off into another subject that I think is really good. So I'm going to talk about, I hope, I can't remember, it's gone. Anyway, I'll pop it in the post later on. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you again next week. Stay safe, and I hope you enjoy your week. Bye bye.